Welcome back to Bard and Barrel. We are going to take on some more magic items and see just how many ways we can abuse them today. If you've seen our first video, you already know the drill. We do 3 magic items, 2 we choose, 1 we roll for, and we see what we can come up with. But Riley, what's our first magic item today?
This one's one probably a lot of people haven't heard of. This is Dust of Dryness. This is a small packet that contains 1d4 pinches of dust. You can use your action to sprinkle it over some water that turns a cube of water about 15 feet on one side into a marble-sized pellet with negligible weight. Someone can use an action and smash the pellet against a hard surface, causing the pellet to shatter. So there's already some things that kind of pop into my mind with this. I mean, 1d40. So let's just hypothetically say we got 10 dustings of this, okay? It can be a thing of water up to about 15 feet on a side, which in my eyes means that a 15-foot cube, 15 by 15 by 15. That's a lot of water.
That's a ton of water.
So already I'm just thinking that we can just unleash a swimming pool's worth of water on someone.
Jeez, I mean, in an interrogation situation, I think we already talked about this, right? With the
The
other
endless
thing, but I mean,
decanter.
you could just stick one of those in the person's mouth and boom, give them a pop in
Crush
the
it.
jaw.
Oh,
Blah. Yeah, exactly. Another thing that comes to mind for me would be, the ninjas that have like the smoke bombs. You throw it on the ground. You could just have like
boom.
3 or 4 things of these water, and it'd just be a tsunami when you hit the ground and quickly escape or something. I wonder if you could figure out a way to pair this with water walking somehow, where
Oh, that would be cool.
what you could do is maybe like create like a cannon. So if you have, because water walking, right, it makes you stay on the surface of the water, correct?
Right. And
So
it's for
if
a
you
full
could
hour
like,
with no concentration.
what if you like got into a cannon or some sort of like tube, okay? Follow or yeah, and then
Okay.
you take like 10 of these things and stick them down to the bottom and then just like jump on them with water walking, and it would keep you
And
on
then
top and just shoot you out like a cannon. That could be kind of cool. That could be kind of cool.
that's kind of interesting thought.
Yeah.
I was thinking as well, similar in that mind to, giving one of these to each member of the party, and this is like the pre-combat main phase, pretty much where you, or I guess surprise round even, you could do this where everyone throws it or crushes it, and you just kind of douse the whole area or enemies in water, and then you
Yeah.
have the wizard cast Cone of Cold on everyone on their turn,
Oh,
and it
yes,
just
yes.
freezes everything.
Good point.
I'm curious how, your DM might take this. Is this kind of like a petrification
Yeah.
style effect? I don't know. Depending on how creative your DM is and willing they are to work with you, this could be used very creatively. I mean, I like the cannon. We could do some area of effect stuff. I mean, just wetting the ground and hitting everyone with lightning doubles
Right.
damage. Like,
That would be good. I was thinking even if you could double up somehow, maybe you've got like a sling or slingshot of some sort, and you could be shooting these things at people. I don't know what kind of effect
it
we've
would
got
be just
there,
like the
right? It's kind of up
watermelon
to the
in the
DM,
woman's
but
face.
exactly,
Boom.
exactly that, right? So
15 by
I
15.
imagine, yeah, that would deal some damage, right? Um,
Well,
but
now that you state that, I mean, there's a possibility that it could deal damage, and since it says that the weight's negligible, I'm curious if you can also interact with these pellets with something like catapult, the spell
mm,
catapult that flings stuff,
ooh, right.
deals damage, and then you get the water splash effect as a bonus, or magic stone, where you imbue up to 3 rocks or pellets,
Hmm.
and they become magic items essentially.
Yeah, and it only works with water. I wonder if you could use it on beer or something,
I'm
just
assuming anything that's
some
that's
sort of
water
liquid,
based.
water
Yeah, I
based.
would I would say so. Yeah.
Because then at that point, like if you could conjure up enough acid or some sort of like poison, maybe you could turn these things into some lethal bombs. I don't know, kind of like stretching it depending on
There's
how
some
your
really
DM goes with
creative
that, but
ways to go about this. Yeah.
could be fun. Let's move to the next one then. We have chosen the Immovable Rod. This flat iron rod has a button on one end. You can use an action to press the button, which causes the rod to become magically fixed in place. Until you or another creature uses an action to push the button again, the rod doesn't move, even if it's defying gravity. The rod can hold up to 8,000 pounds of weight. This thing is the best magic item for any sort of chase scenario. hands down, right? If
Oh,
you're getting
100%.
chased by a baddie and they are hot on your trail, you just beep, pop one of these off and send it floating literally right down the same center, and there's nothing they can do. They're going to get ripped into shreds with that thing, or the horses are going to get tangled up around that pole immediately. It's a That's an easy way to escape from some sort of chase.
Another thought that I had with this is if you could find two, which might be a tough ask, but if you could find two, you could effectively make this like a pseudo climb ability.
Mm,
You could use them like monkey bars because you can deactivate it by pressing the button. So you can lock one in place and then you can swing up, lock the next one, unclick the last one, swing up. And so you could make your way up. It kind of,
right.
like
It would take a
switchbacks
while though,
almost.
because you have
It
to
would.
use your action, but still, you could just technically scale. Well, you could just float. You could do that into the air.
Right. You could just
Yeah,
kind of ice pick it up and you
on
wouldn't
nothing.
have to have it on a certain exactly.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
If it's too high to climb, or if like the wizard who sucks at climbing or may not have jump or fly or misty step or anything like that, teleportation abilities,
Yeah.
low levels, this could be used in ways like that too.
I mean, another thing that comes to mind would be, pinning people down. Um,
Ooh, that's
right?
a good point.
You
You
could,
guys did that in the last campaign.
yeah, we did that too, and so I think that's probably why it came to mind. Is you could put it right
Yeah,
under someone's neck, lock it into place. They're not going anywhere, right? Like
right.
fat chance
And
they're
if they
gonna be
don't
able to move
have,
that sucker.
if they're a
And
monster that
you got
doesn't
to
have
bind them
opposable
obviously,
thumbs,
so they can't click something.
right? Yeah.
It also a good question too would be what that would be like if you were to use it to stop yourself from a fall. Maybe you're like falling
Oh,
100 feet and you just
boom.
push that button. It's not going to go well, but maybe better than hitting the
You know,
ground. I don't think so at that point.
but yeah, that's actually not a bad idea because
If
it
you get
would
enough
keep
bungee
you
cord, right?
from.
And you're like, as you're falling, you're like lacing this thing around and you loose yourself up and then you activate it and you just bungee your way down. All right,
We move
let's
on to
move
our
into
random.
let's move to the random.
All right, so today, for those of you that are following along, there's a lot of different tables. We're going to be rolling off of table F today.
All right, here we go. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. See what we get. We have got 33.
33. 33 is
Ridiculous.
Broom of Flying.
This wooden broom, which weighs 3 pounds, functions like a mundane broom until you stand astride it and speak a command word. Its command word. It then hovers beneath you and can be ridden in the air. It has a flying speed of 50 feet. It can carry up to 400 pounds, but its flying speed becomes 30 feet when carrying over 200. The broom stops hovering when you land.
The flying spell is a third level spell that only targets one person, and it obviously uses a resource. And this is an uncommon magic item that can hold two, maybe three players,
Yeah,
depending on how heavy they are,
true.
and gives them a flying speed of 30 feet with unlimited uses.
It's pretty dirty. No
So
kidding.
already, this is a very early magic item for one that gives a very powerful ability. And if you're not careful as a DM, you can end up giving your players an ability. I mean, you give this to the ranger, and your
Oh, that
combat encounters just became so hard.
bro's just like floating around shooting. There we
Yeah,
go. You can also use it as like a long form message too, right? To where
that's true.
you could strap like it's like a homing pigeon. You could
Right.
strap a message to it, send it to the town over or whatever, and
That's true. Right to where you want it to go.
yeah.
And I don't know, maybe we're just not thinking of the right stuff here. You
Yeah, I
know,
don't know. I'm drawing blanks on this one, unfortunately.
give us some
I'm trying to
ideas in
think.
the comments, guys.
Why don't you just
We're,
strap like here we go. Let's get creative, okay? Let's get the juices flowing.
yeah,
Strap a bunch of javelins or spears to it in the first place, and just start sending it into battle headstrong.
there
And
you
you
go. It's just a mobile javelin.
just just take a mile long javelin, okay? Like Achilles, 300 yards or whatever he throws, nothing
Right.
compared to this, okay? You've got full blown flying javelin up to 1 mile. That's practically one of
That's
those
a
those drone strike. That's a drone strike,
Oh,
bro. That's a straight up drone strike. Moving at
this is
50 feet
this is
over
dirty.
6 seconds.
If
That's a
you're a
drone
ranger
strike.
or a druid and you had Hunter's Mark and you hit a target with Hunter's Mark,
Mm-hmm.
obviously you didn't kill it. You can track it. You know where it's at. You could homing beacon your javelin
Bro,
of death
now we're talking.
to come back,
That's
and you
right.
wouldn't even have to go find him.
Just go pick it out. I like this. I already like this. Okay. Yeah, dude, you
I
have your
mean,
own drone
if we
strikes.
think about artificers here too,
That's amazing.
there's an artillerist artificer. I'm curious if you could strap their gun
That's what I was gonna say.
to
You could
that.
maybe put like a turret up there, and you just have it like float around, like it's like a Call of Duty. Sorry, I don't play Call of Duty anymore, but like an
Oh, the
airstrike, effectively.
UAV,
Yeah, like you just have like a uh, yeah,
the
like a
helicopter
helicopter up there, just taking
railgun.
people
Gun.
out. Yeah, exactly,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
I like it. We could do
This
that.
is dangerous. This is dangerous.